The most common types of percent problems that you run into in everyday life look like this. What is 30% of 50? These would be problems like figuring how much you're going to save when something's on sale, figuring out tip, things like that. We're given the percent and we're given the number that's beside the word of. So the quickest way to solve a percent problem that looks like this is to take the 30%, move its decimal 2 places to the left. So the 30% becomes 0.30. And then you multiply by the of number, which is 50. And when you multiply, you get 15. So 15 is 30% of 50. Move the decimal 2 places to the left and multiply. So that's if you're given the percent and the of number. But not all problems are like that. If we look at 16 is what percent of 20? This time we're missing the percent. We have the of number, 20. We also have 16, but that's not the percent, so we needed a different method. And an easy method to solve percent problems is by using proportions. The formula looks like this. Is over of equals percent over 100. Is would be the number beside the word is. Of, you would fill in the number beside the word of, equals, and then whatever percent you have divided by 100. So out of is, of, and percent, you will have 2 of those 3. One will be missing. Whatever's missing, you'll fill in with a letter. After you have your proportions set up, then like any proportion, the steps are to first cross multiply, and then you'll divide by the number that's in front of the letter, which in math terms is called the coefficient. So let's look back at that problem again. 16 is what percent of 20? 16 is the is word, over 20 is the of word, equals, we're missing the percent, so that's where I'll put my letter. It can be any letter at all. I'm just going to use n over 100. Now we cross multiply. Diagonally, 16 times 100 is 1600. Then equals, diagonally the other way, 20 times n is just 20n. Now, because the 20 and the n are being multiplied, if I want the n to be by itself, I need to do the opposite to get rid of the 20. So the opposite of multiply is divide. We divide both sides by the number that's in front of the letter every time. So 20 over 20 just cancels out. And then you can just use your calculator. 1600 divided by 20 comes out to be 80 equals n. Now always go back and look at the original problem and see what's been asked for. We're looking for the percent. So when we write our answer, 80, we need to write the percent symbol with it. 80%. 30 is 22% of what? So think about our formula. Is over of equals percent over 100. 30 is the is number over, now it says of what? So that's what we're missing. That's where our letter will go. Equals, our percent is 22 over 100. Now cross multiply. 30 times 100 is 3,000 equals, and 22 times n is just 22n. Divide both sides by the number in front of the letter. We'll divide by 22. So just punch in your calculator 3,000 divided by 22. If it's a decimal, We'll round all of these to 2 places if we need to round to the hundredths place, 2 places after the decimal. This comes out to be 136.36. I wasn't finding a percent, so I don't need to put the percent symbol. What percent of 75 is 24? This is similar to the first problem we worked with. The 16 is what percent of 20, but the wording's just a little bit rearranged. But it's still done the same way. 24 is the is number, of is 75, and we're missing the percent. So we'll put an N there over 100. Cross multiply, 24 times 100 is 2400, equals, diagonally the other way, 75 times N. Divide both sides by the number in front of the letter. And in your calculator, 2400 divided by 75 is 32. They're asking what percent, so let's put a percent symbol beside our 32. Now let's go back to the basic type of percent problem that we talked about in the very beginning, that this is the most common one that you'll see in everyday life. And I showed you that you can simply move the decimal 2 places to the left and multiply by the of number. And this is definitely the quickest method. And when I multiply that in my calculator, I get 222.87. But I wanted to show you that you can also use the is over of proportion to solve these if you just prefer to do every single problem the same way. The is number we don't know. What is? So that's the N. Of is 225, equals percent 87.4 over 100. Cross multiply, 100 times N is 100N. Diagonally the other way, 225 times 87.4 is 22287. Then we're going to divide both sides by the number in front of the letter, which is 100. So divide by 100, those will cancel. Divide by 100, and we end up with the same answer. N is 222.87. So you can use either method. They both come out the same. The first one is just a little bit faster.